Thank you one and all for being here. My name is Mac. I am the community manager of Dungeon Alchemist. This is a DAM stream. We call them DAM streams because when you save a file in Dungeon Alchemist, it's saved as a .dam, which stands for Dungeon Alchemist Map. So we call them DAM streams. We also, lean into that DAM business a little bit and kind of do a lot of jokes and puns and things around that. So including our DAM challenge, which you can see up at the top, our bi-weekly DAM challenge is Feast. What that means is using the word feast, create a map of any size and submit it in our Discord in the community creation channel. We have a pinned message or a pinned thread that you can post your feast-based map in, and the winner gets their map featured in next week's stream. The very first map next week's stream. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. No, Starseeker, your map just was very impressive, by the way. Thank you so much. And we just thought it was cool. We basically, every stream, we browse the Steam Workshop, and we try to find cool maps and just showcase them. You know, really, it's mostly just bragging rights and showing your map off. And that way it gets more noticed. As you can tell, yeah, thank you for sharing your work. Honestly, you made the library. That map was very dope. Honestly, I loved that map. We were looking at it for quite some time. Appreciate you sharing that with us. But the rhythm of these streams is essentially, we do a quick intro. Typically every week we showcase a DAM challenge winner, but last week we changed the entries to bi-weekly because a few of our major participants and others were saying that it's kind of hard and it's getting burnt out doing it every week, so we changed it to every 2 weeks, and that gives people more time to enter and think about their entries. It also gives me more time to tell people about it because that's 2 streams worth of advertising the DAM challenge. But Starseeker, again, thank you so much for sharing your map on the Steam Workshop. It was a treat looking at it last week. Ugh. Did my stream just crash? Please tell me it didn't. Okay, I don't think so. Remember, everyone, if you are enjoying the stream and you want to catch us in the future, make sure you hit that follow button. Okay, cool. On my end, it crashed, but I guess it was just Twitch being weird. So, these streams, essentially what we do is we showcase community maps, typically the DAM challenge winner, as well as we teach you tips and tricks for builds. I sometimes will also do a build live on stream. So, considering we don't have a DAM challenge winner to showcase, we're probably going to just jump right into the into showcasing Steam Workshop maps. Also, I actually started something kind of new this week on our socials and in Discord. It's the DAM of the day. And what that means is, well, I figured we have so many maps in our Steam Workshop now, I could pretty much feature one per day for years at this point, for 4 years, almost 4 years at this point. I think there's like 1,150 plus maps last I checked. Let me just see how many there is. 1,170. Wow. That is something else. Let's sort by most recent. Okay, so it looks like our most recent map was dumped in by Sack, and then Tian Bao put one in earlier. And Van Yakos, I actually saw this map on Facebook, and I asked him to upload it. But yeah, it looks like we got a lot of neat maps in here. Sack, yeah, that was clever, getting it in right before the stream, so yours is at the top. Wink, wink. You know what, let's take a look at it. Big Ron's Innocent Not Affront Buffet. Totally legit. Big Ron's Totally Legit Buffet. It just happens to be adjacent to a cemetery. So there was a lot of, daylight savings changes this last week all around the world. And I don't know if our times line up quite the same as they used to. Who knows? I know that, like, next year they're finally getting rid of daylight savings, I think, in the US. Or did they vote to get rid of it finally? I thought they were doing that. Well, first off, let's give this a thumbs up. Is it 8 p.m. where you live? So, oh, gotcha. See, it's 12 p.m. here now. Excuse me. How you doing today, Sack? What you been up to? So one map I'd love to share with you all is a map made by Hazavix, or, gosh, what does he go by? Dirty Rollers RPG. Sorry, I try to remember everyone's name the best I can, and sometimes I kind of just get everyone confused, but Hazavix happens to have two names, so I gotta remember both. Hazavix is also a streamer here on Twitch, and this particular map, we're going to open it in a second. I would love to share this with you. But honestly, I love browsing Steam Workshop just on Steam, or on, like, in the Steam website, or in Steam itself, because you can see how many maps there are, and you can just quickly look at them. If you like a map, you can give people thumbs up, awards, favorites, subscribe it, and you can even leave a comment. So it's nice. Just to kind of have all the utility available for it. Goes good. I'm glad you got that map finished and up. In fact, I'm going to open that. Let me, I'll just minimize this. So this map here is my map. It's one of my favorite maps I've ever built, and I'm excited to rebuild it once the next update comes out, or the update after. I saw that. Thank you so much for sharing. Let's open up Steam Workshop. And we're going to search by most recent. Oh my gosh, you've been working on it for forever and a day, it felt like. Dirty Rollers, didn't you? Man, you were working on this before the last update launched, I remember, because we were talking about cannonballs, and I suggested these to you. I remember bringing it up to you a few weeks ago. You're like, man, I gotta finish that. That's probably what spurred you on to getting it done, huh? I was like, have you uploaded this? So, I just so you all are aware, I actually met Dirty Rollers because he was streaming Dungeon Alchemist. And I encourage you all to create content using Dungeon Alchemist, whether it's, YouTube tutorials or, walkthroughs of a build. Or, you're just streaming your builds or streaming your campaigns with Dungeon Alchemist maps. I encourage you to do that, and also let us know. We have our Discord server where there's a self-promo channel. As long as you're promoting anything Dungeon Alchemist related in your content, so if it's a Patreon with Dungeon Alchemist content, if it's a YouTube with the Dungeon Alchemist video you're sharing, or a Twitch stream, or a book that you made with Dungeon Alchemist maps, come on, man. Oh, it's because I used the exclamation. Gosh, dang it. There we go. We have a self-promo channel, but only if it's Dungeon Alchemist related. Also, if you tag us on Twitter or Facebook whenever you're going live, I will do my best to boost said post or even come by and say hi. I can't every day, every time, but because you all stream at random times relative to my schedule, I do my best to pop in at least 5-10 minutes to every stream I can. I mean, ask Dirty Rollers. I've been in his stream probably, close to a dozen times now from all of his builds. And the thing is I try to support our community any way I can. Whether it's, you have a Patreon, or you are showcasing your work, as a YouTube tutorial, or you're streaming a campaign. I do my best to try and give everyone, some way to, make sure their stream is being seen by the staff, as well as kind of an outlet to share your information and thoughts on your works and what you're doing. One other thing you could do is just put another gate right here, like a thinner one. I'm not gonna lie though, this map is a treat. Something like that. So it's got like an inner gate yard where you could, yeah, these are like the hot oil, right? There might even be a wooden door we could do if we just put a couple tiles right here, like floor tiles there. We could put a wooden door there. Because usually the outer one is a gate, like, and then the inner one is a wooden door, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, if you did, like, you could do one of these, like that, or that one would, that one would look really good. If we could put, here, let me just try something. I'm going to just turn the AI off 100% here. F. Look at this man's balance and stuff. Jeez, look at you. And then we'll try setting the floor to like maybe like just stamped earth or something, you know? Like this dark stamped earth. And then we can try putting a door here. Oh wait, there has to be a little bit of wall. So what we could do is just draw, you know, whatever wall. It doesn't really matter. Damn. It's clipping into it. Why? That one clips, it doesn't do anything. Oof. Man, it's so tight in here. I understand, like, what you did. I could see it. I'm gonna move that back in a minute. Shiz. This is an interesting build. Oh, it's an insane map, and it looks like you put so much effort and time into it. I'm just trying to get this just once. I want to see if we can get the gate. Oh, man, it's still trying to... Why is it so biased against this one? That is so strange. Get in there, guy. Still? What the heck? I'm gonna just probably have to rebuild that section. I'm probably just gonna have to replace that whole section, but what I was thinking is you take this and put like this door here. Like that. That's so confusing. How did you do that? Did you slide it in after it was placed? Ah. Jeez, Dirty Roller's teaching me tricks. Get on the wood, guy. Oh, yeah, you had the pillar in the middle, huh? That's right. Structural masonry. This a guy. Oh, it was sitting on there the whole time. I mean, here's the thing. It's not counterintuitive. The point of Dungeon Alchemist is to make maps in a snap using the AI, right? But the fact that you can also dive in and build by hand is something that gives you the utility and versatility of something. Oh my gosh, a raid from Top Down Tabletop? Wow! First off, I was watching your campaign earlier for a little bit, and I was enjoying myself. Thank you so much, Vix and Shanks. I've just destroyed your map here, by the way. I'm just gonna... I give up. I'll do this on my own time. Put that gate there for now. Anyway, how are we doing? How are we doing top-down tabletop? Welcome, welcome. How was your, was that a one-shot? I was only watching for a little bit and then I had a phone call. I couldn't stay long. Thank you so much for such an impressive raid. You know what, I kind of feel like doing a giveaway. Maybe we should do a Dungeon Alchemist giveaway in response to this top-tier raid. Can we get some thank yous to the raiders, please, and welcome them? It's not every day we get a raid. Uh-oh. So, what are we thinking? Hey. Well, we are showing off a map from the Steam Workshop made by a fellow streamer, actually. So it's the Dirty Rollers RPG actually made this map, and I watched him make this map over several stream sessions, and it is just, let's just kind of scroll through it so you can see all of its majesty. It is insane. So it's got kind of a terraced switchback terrain all the way up into this very impressive keep at the top. Not only is it stunning and impressive, but a lot of time and effort went into this map. But this map is available on the Steam Workshop. Let me just get a link real quick, actually. So for anyone who has a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, they can just download it. Where is it? Most recent. Hidden ambush platform. Goodness, man. How was your stream, Vix? I caught a little bit of it. It was making me laugh for sure. I couldn't stay long though, because I was kind of in the middle of making and eating breakfast, getting set up for my stream and whatnot. So unfortunately, I was not there forever. And I wish I could have been there longer. Oh, nice. So I just dropped the link for this map in stream chat. So if any of you are interested, you can download it. It's also good seeing Shanks back on stream. I was very happy to see him, smiling and up and about. I was, last I spoke to him, he was out of it. He wasn't doing well, so I'm glad he's doing better. But yeah, I'm sure you are, glad he's doing better. Honestly, this map is just stunning. Seriously, thank you so much, Dirty Rollers, for all your hard work on it and for sharing it on the Steam Workshop. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have no doubt this will be a dam of the day sometime soon. So let's do a giveaway. I'm kind of sad that all your raiders disappeared because they won't get a chance to win, but you know what? We hit 50 for a brief moment, I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna do a giveaway of Dungeon Alchemist. Let me get it set up really quickly. Let's see. All right, you guys got 10 minutes to enter. Just type !damn in chat to enter, and we'll get a winner about 10 minutes from now. That'll give people plenty of time to enter. You must be following the stream to enter, by the way. So make sure you're following that stream. And we're going to move in to a new map. Appreciate that, Sack. Honestly, you know, that'd be really cool. I guess you could just use like a Steam Deck, technically, to access it, you know, like with a mobile platform. I've heard of plenty of people using the Steam Deck for it. Everyone can enter. You just got to be following the stream to qualify. Man, this map, just the more I look at it, it's great. This little cart, the wagon's a little big, but I mean, it's like as tall as the side of the map if you look at it. Those map walls are probably 20 feet. In celebration of the raid from Top Down Tabletop, we will be giving away a copy of Dungeon Alchemist in a few minutes. Ogre cart? Could be big, I guess. They have a cave troll. They have a cart troll. Let's open up a new map. I love searching by most recent because there's just so many maps. Yeah, I know, but it's one option to get mobile, and you could use it for pretty much any of your Steam games, you know what I mean? This one here looks really cool. Alternatively, there's options to kind of remotely access Steam from like a tablet, I believe. Not sure how well it'll work, but... So, an opulent pool house or bathhouse. Very lovely design here. Well, Crasher, so when you when you export with Dungeon Alchemist for Foundry, it should automatically align up to the grid for you. You shouldn't have to do anything with the grid. So if you go into export and you hit Foundry, as long as you export with Foundry directly, the image size will match up with the JSON size information, and all of the grids should be populated automatically, in my experience with Foundry. So, I'm a little bit confused on what you're saying here. Just to be sure... Hold on. Do I have a Foundry command? I can't remember. Yeah, that's why I'm a little confused, because I thought... Hold on. You know what? I don't have a Foundry command, but I'm going to get it. Make one of these. So this here is the step-by-step directions for how to import to Foundry. So, Wolf Gold, it does have wall line of sight data, but not height. There's no verticality in our exports at this time, so you will have to draw that in by hand. But what will be exported is like these walls here, the doors in the walls. So like this has line of sight information. The walls, even the curved walls, give line of sight information. In addition to that, the light data can be exported. But yeah, there is no verticality, and honestly, there really isn't any map makers that offer that at this time. But realistically, it's not that hard to draw in the wall data for vertical, stuff. I've made a map that has like 2 or 3 levels in it because I designed a cave by hand, drawing tunnels and stuff like that, and catwalks. And it can work. It's possible, but it took me a while to draw in those vertical wall information. Hey, see you later. Thank you so much for being here, Vix. I appreciate you. Man, this map, though, just looking at it, absolutely stunning. So a lot of the minor updates have been fixes for issues we're noticing. So there's been a lot of minor issues with people unable to save in Dungeon Alchemist, or their machine won't load Dungeon Alchemist anymore because of a bug. And we were sussing out the bug for a couple of days in Discord, and the developers put out a hotfix to fix those couple of people's issues. It really wasn't relevant to the greater population, so it was just a quick hotfix. You know what I mean? One of the Foundry modules deals with height. It's pretty impressive, but I haven't messed with it. What's it called? So, Ninkasi Ninja, this is called Dungeon Alchemist. It's available on Steam, and it's an AI-powered map maker that allows you to build maps for your tabletop campaigns such as D&D, Pathfinder, etc. Mostly fantasy-based at this time. I did drop a link up there for you that is a step-by-step. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, the Dungeon Alchemist import to Foundry link. If you follow this right here, that is a step-by-step. It walks you through importing to Foundry. And if you follow those steps, as long as all your modules and stuff is up to date, you should be good. Okay, how much time do we have left on this giveaway? Not long, just a couple minutes left. Remember, if you're not already, hit that follow button, and thank you for everyone that did follow so far. Yeah, I've got all sorts of, think of these streams as a, like an AMA, which means ask me anything. We're here to showcase community maps, but we're also here to teach you how to turn your builds up to 11. You can use Dungeon Alchemist for quick, environmental generation, or you can make these opulent build mode, builds like this bathhouse that just have perfect symmetry, curved walls, just stunning design across the entire room. I love this map. Great work on this. Oh, it's an amazing tool. So, just to give you a little bit about myself, this is the official channel for Dungeon Alchemist. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager. So these streams are official Dungeon Alchemist streams. And so when you ask me questions, I'm trying my best to answer them in an official capacity. It's not quite like, like a Dolly or, you don't necessarily type. Let me show you how you use the AI, okay? So there's several ways to guide the AI and build maps. So first and foremost, you set your map type. So if you're playing in person, you want to use print, right? Unless you're using like a digital tabletop, like a digital TV or projector. I'm going to walk you through this whole process of how the AI works. So if you're setting for print, it'll have print sizes, and you set it based on poster or paper sizes, it'll kind of limit the map size to those. If you're going for digital, you have an unlimited map size. Digital maps can also be printed. They can be exported as a JPEG, so there's no worry there. It just gives you more versatility in your build size. So I'm going to set it to 40 by 40. That's the starting size of my map. Maps can be shrunk or expanded if you're in digital, by the way. SJ Bait, thank you so much for participating. Congratulations. Type exclamation claim in chat to claim your win. If you don't claim it in the next minute, you won't win. You got to do that right now. So that's kind of a way to protect it if someone left. So exclamation claim. Congratulations. So I'm going to set it to 40 by 40. Now, you set your map type. Dark parchment is just a plain background. This one is actually dark parchment. You see this kind of black area? Congratulations, SJ. Congratulations. One moment here. Can we get some mad congrats to the winner of the giveaway? Yep. Within about a month or so, I'd say hopefully before the end of December, we should have the option to make snow maps. I'm gonna get a key for you in just 1 second, okay, SJ? Give me 1 second here. Let me get this map going. So you set the size, set the terrain type. So you got badland biome, desert biome, forest, grassland, and jungle. And we add new biomes every update, as I just said. Our next update, we'll add winter, snow, tundra biome. Okay. So let's set it for desert as the biome. You can set elevation type: flat, dunes, large dune, mountain, ravine, flooded ravine, Grand Canyon, crater. So I'm going to go with crater. And you could set vegetation. So depending on your biome, you have vegetation types. So if we were, say, in forest, you have evergreen or broadleaf, etc. Or if you're in a jungle, you have different dense growth, no growth. So in desert, there's different vegetation than there is, say, in a forest. So we're going to go with oasis vegetation. Based on the water types, you have all these: river, oasis, lakeside, island, lake. Let's do an oasis. It'll probably generate it in the crater. It'll be really cool. Then you set your room placement. Okay, room placement, you could set it water level, plateau, and mountaintops. And what this means in English is when you go to generate your AI generated rooms in your map, they will be placed at this level for the rest of the build. So once you set this level, it's critical that you understand that when you start to build, they'll be at that level for the rest of the build, unless you just build like an object building by hand. But if you do AI buildings, they'll be at the level you set. So I'm going to use water level, and I'm going to hit create. Now, this is one of the many ways you can use the AI, is to generate environmental maps in a snap. So it only takes a few clicks, and now I've got a desert, crater, oasis generated just like that. Let's say you don't like this and you didn't like the desert. You can click the terrain tool, go to the regenerate or change terrain type. Let's say you want to go to a jungle instead. Same thing. Everything's the same, right? We're going to have that crater, and yeah, we'll hit go. And now, instead of an oasis, we've got this crater in a jungle that you can kind of clearly see the defined crater in the top there. It essentially gives you a tool that allows you to generate environmental maps in moments. So let's say your players go off of your planned session path for the day, and they're like, hey, we want to go over into this desert or this jungle to go visit this goblin we met 5 sessions ago. And you're like, oh crap, I didn't plan for that. Hurry and generate the jungle, and let's say you throw down let's throw down an alchemist laboratory for this, random goblin in the middle of the jungle they want to visit. So here I generated an alchemist laboratory. That one's pretty weak, actually. Let's go into the AI settings, and we'll generate a new one. We can just keep regenerating it. Let's say you don't want it to generate with objects. You can disable the objects or the lights and regenerate it again, and it'll remove them from it, and you could decorate it by hand. So ultimately, you have a lot of ability in the way you are able to guide and create rooms and maps. When you generate rooms, you could set them as all these different types. So abandoned ruins. So we have chapels, hovels, mansions, spider lair, temple, and they'll all have like a worn down, broken, abandoned feel. Alchemist laboratory. So let's do a library, and we'll generate it in this same space. Yes, you can, actually. In our last update, generated that. Hey, SJ, I'm still going to give you the key, and I apologize. I just wanted to explain this before we did that, okay? Thank you so much for being patient with me. So our latest update added the ability to link Hero Forge. So you actually have the ability to link your Hero Forge account. Now, let me explain this in detail really quickly. Hero Forge tokens, we include a few for free, and they're not put on your Hero Forge account. They're only available in Dungeon Alchemist. And when you link your Hero Forge account to your Dungeon Alchemist account, you get 5 more free tokens available in Dungeon Alchemist. But the only tokens that will show up in Dungeon Alchemist from Hero Forge are ones that you've paid for as 3D digital, or if you've gotten packs as part of the Pro Plus subscription. So let's say you've been a Pro Plus member and you have dozens and dozens of packs. Those will all import here, as well as any that you purchased as a 3D digital, not a 3D STL, not a 3D printable. It has to be 3D digital. 3D printable is different than 3D digital. 3D digital is designed for use in a VTT, has the color information, shader information. So I've actually, here is one of the characters I made in Hero Forge myself. This is one of my tokens from a campaign. His name is MacGyver. He's a changeling artificer. You can put it in the map here, and you can actually go into first-person mode and look around from the token's perspective. This is a great way for you as a GM to record or do cutscenes, chase scenes, introduction to someone walking into an area. And these are great for handouts. You can also just take screenshots, etc. in this mode. These modes, you can actually set it through a lot of different settings now. So let's fine-tune it. So in the first-person mode, you can change your sensitivity, your field of view, and enable or disable head bob so it doesn't move as much when you're moving around. By the way, when you make maps in Dungeon Alchemist, as I said earlier, you can set them to print, or you can export for your VTT of choice. We have exporting options for Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, as well as Universal Export, which I've heard works for plenty of them out there, such as Owlbear, etc. Okay, so let's hurry and get SJ Bait his key. I want to make sure I get that because I don't want to forget. I'm trying to find where I put them in documents here. I should have had this open. I just didn't plan on getting raided. And yeah. Okay, here we go. I should just expect the unexpected every day. Thank you for being patient with me while I do this, everyone, and I just am trying to be good on this. SJ, I'm going to send you the key, and it's for Steam. Please go ahead and attempt to redeem it. Make sure it works. If there's any problems, just let me know, okay? And if you could let chat know I've sent you the key, that'd be great. So I just whispered that to you, SJ. Can you just confirm you got that for me? Okay, so we're gonna move on to a new map. Let's go browse the Steam Workshop here. Congratulations, and I'm sorry it took me a moment here. I just wanted to, finish my thought there before I moved on. Let's take a look at some more maps here. Okay, let's look at this. This looks insane. Honestly, I think the journal thing is built right into it. You don't need a special module. You can do so what I've seen done in Foundry is people will make a world map. Say you make a world map and, obviously Dungeon Alchemist isn't ideal for world maps. I've seen city and world maps done in it, but it's not necessarily an ideal tool for it. It's usually for localized maps, or in basic, up to maybe 50 by 50, 100 by 100 maps. We don't usually see bigger than that. So keeping that in mind, I like Incarnate for world maps, and I don't mind, they're using them for that because they tend to be very good for that. And what I like to do is I'll build a world map in Incarnate, and I'll have that set up as the main. So there's an intro scene where, it's a launch screen with their stuff, and then they can click on the world map. It goes to the world map, and then the world map has different zones, just like in a video game. And each of those world map zones, as they've been to them, they can click, they'd be like, here, we want to travel here, and then I'll determine how long the travel time is and what encounters it'll set up. If they haven't been somewhere, it's gray, so they can't click on it and see notes for it. But if they have been somewhere, they can click on it and it opens up a journal entry with that localized map. So they can see that area and, know what was there. Congrats again, SJ, and I hope you enjoy Dungeon Alchemist. Remember, we are a very, very close-knit community that loves to help each other out. I think we're the best community in the world. You guys make my job super easy as a community manager. It's so fun to be a part of this community because there's really no drama. We're all just so helpful and awesome and work together and help each other come up with ideas. So one thing I encourage you to do, SJ, if you're not already, and any of you in here who are kind of new, please join our Discord. The Discord is a very amazing tool because we have in our Discord a lot of different channels that can help you. Community creation, there's a channel dedicated to people sharing their maps. Not every map makes it onto our Steam Workshop. And so using our Discord is a great way to find a lot of hidden gem maps that may not be on our Steam Workshop. So keeping that in mind, we also have a tips and tricks section where our expert builders and our moderators will post very detailed tutorials, tips and tricks on how to kind of get the most out of Dungeon Alchemist and kind of utilize little tools and hidden secrets and functions in Dungeon Alchemist to bring your builds up to 11. In addition to that, we have support and question forums where you can ask questions, or if you're having problems. We mentioned earlier that there was a hot fix pushed out to fix issues. A couple of those issues were brought to our attention in the support forum. So I encourage you all, if you're kind of new to Dungeon Alchemist, you're considering buying it, join our Discord, or if you just caught it, or if you've never even joined our Discord and you have a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, please do. It's a great place to learn and, communicate. We also have GM chat where, just DMs can chat with each other and pick each other's brains for ideas. There's almost always a conversation on how to build certain traps or encounters or map design and ideas. And man, this amphitheater is insane. Holy cow. Someone put in a lot of work stacking these bricks. I'm not gonna lie. The symmetry on this is really good. Ooh, who made this? I didn't even see the name. I just kind of jumped into it. Asphaltia. Oh my gosh, yeah. That took some time right there, but this is a crazy amphitheater. Looks beautiful. We'll definitely borrow. Oh my gosh, can I just say I am loving my new processor? So I got a new motherboard and a new CPU. I am going to upgrade my GPU in a month or two, hopefully. I'm still deciding there. But I still have my old RAM and my old like M2 SSDs and my power supply, but I got a new cooler too. Oh my gosh, my computer's so quiet and it's just so much more efficient on the stream. I'm not noticing any frame drops or anything. Zach, when's it getting to you, bud? Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Honestly, man, oh, my computers felt so old. So when they released the cinematic and FP mode recording, I was complaining to the devs saying, hey, my computer is like dropping frames. I can barely record. And they're like, okay, what are your computer specs? And I tell them, they're like, Mac, it might be your computer. I was like, oh gosh, I need to update. So I kind of just put it in my budget to save a little bit and buy a new CPU because like for a stream setup, it's kind of dated now. I've had it for about, almost 7 years now. So it's time for me to update, especially when I want to stream at like 1080 60 for you guys to watch and see it at like a really good quality. It takes a little bit of, processing power on my end. I was wondering if you could mark stackable objects somehow when you hover over your mouse. What do you mean? You mean like that? Like when you click on them? Honestly, though, even then, Crasher, I've seen people make city and world maps using Dungeon Alchemist. It's very possible. I swear I've seen regional maps. Let's look. World. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe someone hasn't uploaded them yet, but I've seen some before. Let's see. I feel like Aloe Vera put a city map up. Dang. This one here is a great city one. Here, let me show you this. It would be cool if we had more feedback or tooltips that gave, like, visual information in Dungeon Alchemist, and I'm sure those quality of life improvements will come with time. So this was built here entirely using objects. So these here are, like, doll houses that are oversized, dog houses combined together, and as you can see, it's just like a little city area, like a corner of a town, and you could do a lot more by mixing more of these together. Oh, you know what? Here, let me make a map today. Let's do a 50 by 50 city map, okay? And we'll set it in grasslands, flat, meadow. We'll put it lakeside, water level. Holy cow, that is a lot of water. Let's do lake. That's even bigger. I'll just add the water manually on one side. So I typically like to just go through and wipe my map out using the object eraser to kind of get things fresh and using what I want. So I'll wipe out all the, you know, random terrain. Obviously these little flowers are part of the backdrop, so they won't get erased, but like trees and stuff like that, you can quickly erase it. Also, if you don't like the terrain, you can always go through and adjust it to a different terrain type. When you use grasslands, you have a lot of versatility in your brushes for terrain. You can go through and kind of use this more, just a plain green one, and that really wipes out a lot of this flower nonsense. This is the first time I've noticed frame drops today. It is dropping frames when I'm painting, but this tool is always kind of sluggish anyway. So usually I like to kind of blank slate my maps. Everyone does their own thing. For me, this is kind of how I'm able to visualize a map, is by having, you know, like a blank canvas. Some people, and I also kind of think of maps like art a lot, and I'll kind of mess up sometimes and throw away maps, kind of like you crumple up a paper and throw it in a trash can. So, I mean, if I end up messing up or feeling not good with it, I may end up doing that. I'm sorry, but that's part of my creative process. Everybody has their own. Let's go ahead and put in this waterfront that I mentioned earlier. And we'll kind of add some sand under it. So now I've started to fill in the beach kind of area with sand, and you definitely kind of want a beach around it, right? It wouldn't just be all green. If anything, that would be more boggy. We'll kind of give it a beach front, let's say. Honestly, a lot of this green will probably end up being erased when I'm all said and done. Should have gone with like a dirt. Okay, so now we kind of got the ocean front area. I think I'm going to start by decorating this area, making kind of a dock, which I think will help tremendously in getting going. Use bricks. I like these little wooden bridges. Another thing I like doing when I'm building big maps is to turn on the grid sometimes and just kind of look at it, and it really helps you get a scale of perspective for your map. You're like, oh, this dock is, 20 feet long almost. Does that make sense? Did that chat crash or something? You guys are quiet all of a sudden. Let's extend this out. And I really love to turn off collisions and merge this stuff together to make it seem like it's just one big piece. Notice how I put those poles together? Then you can come over here and kind of have it come off of this with another piece and make another dock here. Whole like system of docks. Right? Everyone's just kind of watching, which is fine. We're going to put probably one more set of docks over here, and then I want to kind of leave this space open for mostly just kind of like moored boats, or like maybe just like fishing huts and stuff like that. Little shacks and stuff like that. Oh, honestly, multi-level, I can't speak to it, Wolf. I do know that the devs want to add roofing, like ceilings and stuff, and multi-level is on our roadmap as something they are considering. I just don't know if it's something they're going to do right away or anytime soon. And in all honesty, I would see that maybe at least 2 to 3 updates away. I mean, you can do multi-level on this. Like right now, it's very easy to do multi-level. Zach actually posted a great tutorial on multi-level building earlier on our Discord. So I would recommend you check it out. To have AI generated multi-level is difficult, but to say build multi-level with the terrain editor and doing stacking building with object stacking and stuff like that, it's very possible right now to do multi-level. But yeah, like honestly, I would recommend if you have multiple floors, basements, upper levels, etc., it's usually best to have a module set up that teleports them from map to map. So as soon as they hit that door or that cave entrance or whatever, and they go into it, it moves them. And you use that same method on the Sanderson sister cottage, huh? You just kind of refined it. And that's where, you use your VTTs to get those kind of things, if that makes sense. Dungeon Alchemist is, it's going to have some limitations here and there that won't work with every single, desire you have for, building, multi-tier maps. You got to use your VTT on the opposite end to make it a multi-tier map where they go up a stair and then it takes them just like it would load in a video game. Sometimes they don't have it all on one level. It's got a loading sequence and takes them to a new room. And you got to understand that your players will suspend disbelief in a make-believe game if they have to go up to a stairs and it transfers them somewhere else. If they can't just go from level to level fluidly, and see it all. I'm sure your players won't die. And people say this stuff all the time. This is unusable because there's not multi-level support. I would love to see a map maker that does that very well and easy. Anyway, okay. Let's put a couple of boats over here. Maybe a little raft here. Flipped over canoe on the shore. Maybe a broken boat up here. Actually, we'll leave that down here by like a fishing ship. And then we could take this boat and just kind of put it there. I'm thinking on this dock down here, we'll put like an oversized boat, something like that. So it just kind of looks like some bigger boats are moored. You can always oversize boats and put sails and planks on them and stuff to make them look like a big, huge sailboat. Yep, you can always merge 2 maps together too. I've seen people cut out a section of a floor and put a lower floor, or merge maps together to have an upper floor. It's very possible. It's just, it obviously isn't something built right into the AI customization. It just takes some time. Okay, so we start our docks here. Thinking kind of bring some more life into this area with just like a little bit of alginate and stuff in the water near. It's not just like sand. Okay. Now let's do the city. This is where we're gonna have some fun. So I'm gonna use 2 methods to generate this town. First and foremost, I'm going to use structural objects. One of my favorite for this is the doghouse. Doghouses, they just look like little shacks, and they're great for this. You could take them and put them together like this and make different angled huts. Okay. And the best part about them is they've got color on them, so you can go through and colorize them and shift their hue to different, subtle, different hues. So I'm going to be using I like a lot of these to build some houses, and you'll see, it's pretty cool. longer house, like a long hut there. Oops. It's... Or the option to manually select which objects go into a brush. Yeah, if you could kind of further define the brush, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I swear there's like a rack somewhere. Stuff here. This thing here. Kind of like a drying rack for fish, right? Just kind of have like the fish yards here. Because you want it to be kind of a little slummy near the edge of town where all this stuff happens. Oh, I like that one. This guy, put this one. I'm curious of something. 1 second. Wow. Got a little distracted because I noticed we hit 800 followers plus, so we're at 812. Combine a few of these together to just make something new and unique. I really love the object collision because it gives you a lot of versatility. For a market stall, something like that. So as you can see, I'm kind of making like a little slummy kind of fish markety area that's run down. It probably looks and smells equivalently gross. Now keep in mind, when you have a slum area, you want to try and match your lighting to that, right? You're probably going to have just mostly campfires and this is just kind of a generic basic area, right? In the intro to the town. You would probably have some like paths off of these docks that have been areas that are more treaded, you know, like the ground's been a little bit heavier used here, because if people are kind of walking through here a lot going into the city, And it would kind of congest into areas like this where there's probably a main road leading into the town. So we'll kind of start this here. I don't know why my brush is lagging so hard. I like to kind of overlap brushes with each other so it kind of just feels like multiple colors. Anyway. So I think the road, we're going to have it kind of go like this. Maybe we could cobble it a bit. Maybe put something here. What would be good there? Let's again, this one there. A little fishing hut. Some more of these racks. We'll probably put some like barrels and boxes and just little things like this all throughout the area to kind of really give it the vibe that people live here and hang out here. Crates, etc. Probably put some of these even on the dock so it kind of just looks like merchant stuff is being loaded up. What is that? Crane? Crane? What is it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's like a... looks like a crane. I'm trying to remember where it's at. And I'm like drawing the biggest blank right now. Could use something like this to make it just kind of look like it's like a lift system for putting stuff onto there. But there's this new like this thing here. This bad boy, the Shaboof. It kind of just looks like it can be used for loading cargo up onto stuff, you know what I mean? I actually really like that. Okay. Oh well. Hate how the wells are just always just something so big. Okay. So here, keep expanding the slums a little bit. I'm actually enjoying it. Tents we got. We'll kind of give these docks some life, and then we'll move on to the next section. Go through and a couple of them like that. What color should we make that? Purple color's neat. Okay, so as you can see, I'm slowly fleshing out the, you know, dock slash kind of fish market area, which doesn't take a whole lot, but as you can see, it's just slowly kind of getting a little bit more and more worked in. You always like to, like I said earlier, stamp out paths that are used a lot, so it kind of feels like people walk through this area a ton. Bigger. So thinking of putting like a little platform or something like this. This guy. Not at all. So does anyone have any questions about the build so far, or what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish? Let's see here. We can use the hovel for this to generate some quick little rooms. Because this is going to be the kind of slum part of town, so we can have some rundown. 4. Maybe under the desert one we have some tents, so probably tent. And F. Fuck. I'll just put it back. Done. The music just stopped. Darn it. Oh, no, it didn't. I don't think we'll ever have any gory assets. I guess they are kind of. They could be warehouse stuff. You know what I mean? Down by the docks, you'd probably have warehouses. If anything, I could just have them be run down, whatever. But yeah, it is kind of big now that I think about it. Let's do some small ones. So, Wolf Gold, the devs have pretty much stated that they won't put any blood or gore or anything like that because it risks us raising our rating up to, say, mature. And it raises a lot of eyebrows when you have a mature rating on a map maker. We're not even a game. And if we had that, it would just kind of, you know, I would say it would raise a lot of eyebrows ultimately. So they have opted to not do that. Now, that being said, I will teach you a trick to get around that right now. There are a few assets in Dungeon Alchemist that have the ability to swap the facings on them, or they're customizable. So there's this customizable carpet, for instance. One moment. Just one moment. Just trying to download an image. So a lot of objects have this option where you can change the image on it. So I'm gonna just hurry and pull this up. So I just put a blood splatter PNG in there. Notice it's got that ring around it. I've been talking with the devs in an attempt to get them to hide that or get rid of it because that's part of the carpet. They've heard of quite a few of us say that we want that, and there's an upvote for it. And I encourage you, if you want them to remove this ring, to ask them. But this gives you so much versatility. Skeletons, dead bodies, and you could hide the ring, you know, creatively with assets around it. And the smaller it gets, I mean, that's a huge blood splatter there. So the smaller it gets, the less prevalent it is, as you can see. There is also a parchment paper. This one here. Also, similarly, has the same option, but it doesn't get rid of the background. I mean, I've seen people use this to put, like, bugs, magic circles, all sorts of backdrops and whatnot. And this is kind of a band-aid, I understand. It's not a perfect solution. But I'm like I said, I'm talking to the devs about getting this a carpet without the ring and a parchment without the border, and hopefully you can just make all the custom backgrounds you wish with it. Jeez, Wolf Gold. Okay, back to building the map. Okay. Let's see. What do we need? And merge together. Got a couple more tents over here. And I really am enjoying this little kind of slum / fish market area here. It looks really cool. Probably going to put some merch and stuff on that table in a bit to kind of really flesh it out. You know what I mean? We'll do that decoration type stuff later. We're just going to keep putting in structures until it looks like what we want. We got longhouses and fish huts and shacks and stuff down here on the beachhead area. And then what we'll do is we start getting into here. Maybe we'll put some like warehouses and stuff in this area. Bigger structures to store goods and whatnot. which makes sense. You would have that kind of stuff. So get bigger. Oh no, you don't. Why do AI hate me? Okay. Ton of goods in there. Bad. Okay, that looks really cool. Really enjoying this now. Starting to come together. Okay. So what are we thinking of this little kind of oceanside town so far? Any thoughts, feedback, suggestions? Probably gonna need a lot more lighting down here, huh? Change the color of that house. What? But yeah, I mean, you combine a tent with something and all of a sudden it just looks completely different with these houses. It's great. It adds a lot of, I don't know, just ability to it. It's like, oh, here's a porch, you know? So, Crasher, I actually love to do a lot of my building by hand. I use the AI for environment generation for quick random maps, and then I use it to generate kind of the basis of houses for bigger structures, and then I go in by hand and kind of put in the objects. I'll show you when I start using the AI soon. Right now, because everything's small and slummy, I'm sticking with, you know, these tinier structures, and I know that's kind of counterintuitive to a degree. Soon we'll be using the other stuff. I'd say right now it's just because I'm really just trying to get the feel of this area down here, and you can't really do that as much with the AI gen stuff. Like, there are a couple of houses you can gen, like hovels and stuff. Oh, I hate it that it's doing this. And these just kind of look like run-down old shacks that have been here a while. Put a few of these up in this area here. And now we're gonna go into something a little bit nicer here. We can go into like village stuff. And also you can kind of guide the AI, say you don't want any walls or anything like that. So now I can kind of start going through and making alleys if I wanted to. That really gives it that alley feel, you know what I mean? I really hate how this is just getting so aggressive and deleting objects nearby. Thank you for the water, I appreciate it. Why is there a spider body on there? Now, I would say as far away from the slums is where, like, the nice houses will be, right? So, assuming that we have some nice homes, like a castle or something, we could just put it over here, or maybe a chapel. Be very, kind of a big, huge building. Oh, I had turned off all the AI generation, so it's like, yeah, guy, let's generate something with nothing. Heck, we can make this bigger. Just make it a big chapel over here. Chapels tend to be pretty large structures, right? And then we could do stables. Let's do them over here somewhere. Maybe here and start building some castle-y stuff. A coach house and whatnot. What is... AI is not being my friend right now. Honestly, it is very up to custom personal preference when you're building stuff, how you want it to look and how often you use the AI. The AI, I could just sit here and generate every room using AI if I wanted to, but it's kind of like I like the personal detail. Does that make sense? Let's do a big brewery right here. Or a big like tavern here where people can come in and move the door this side here. Honestly, the reason I don't get bothered by it, Sack, is the reason I think about it is like in the past there was so much disparity in wealth that the size of buildings were so crazy, and there was no like building codes either, so it's just like someone's home would be tiny little shack and someone's would be crazy multi-level building. And so ultimately I don't think because there was no building codes you can kind of just be like, yeah, there's these little hovel shacks down by the beach, and then as you get in closer to the city the homes are more organized, there's streets, there's, you know, water and irrigation and fountains and, you know, stuff like that, so it's a little bit cleaner, whatnot. And it's really up to you how you discern that, but I get it. It is kind of hard to look at this and go, okay, this is like 100-foot structure. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense, actually. I understand you. Yeah, I like the hand terrain that I'm doing here. Just it's like, oh, here in the kind of slummy area, it feels like, you know, this area is a combination of beach and like kind of just padded dirt, right? And then as you get further in, it becomes more cobbled and stone. So these will be mostly your like rundown, kind of just crummy homes and like fishing shacks and whatnot. And then as you get in here, we got a tavern. It's quite large, of course. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's go to village. We'll probably... I think I'm going to just do like the city square right here. And then we'll put a bakery attached to it. And cemetery over here. Walls. Why did this cemetery, like, generate with nothing? There's nothing in it. Huh. Interesting. Maybe I found a bug. Like, needs walls to generate the objects inside of it. That is interesting. Okay. Can get that thing. Scale it down a bit. I actually really think this is good, looking good. I mean, what already this seems like a population of like maybe 500-600 plus people in this town already, just from the size it's going to. I mean, it's probably only enough room for 100 people in the houses I've set up, but as we expand, it's going to be more and more. Million over here. Brewery next to this. Generating a bunch of little houses. Probably have to move the doors here soon. Yeah, I honestly liken Dungeon Alchemist to Baldur's Gate a lot. It's like Baldur's Gate meets Sims. And then obviously if you're not happy with the generation of these slum, like tiny little buildings, you can go through and clean them up a bit. Move the doors. Where's the door for that one? Okay, let's look overhead and see what we've got so far. I'd say we're about halfway done, right? And I keep getting interrupted answering questions and doing stuff, you know, it's like, this isn't bad at all. Yeah, I'm going to. I'm kind of regretting using it in the first place, but rather than just kind of start over. And I can put in little dirt paths here and there and some other things. Also, you can kind of go over this stone with the other stone to kind of give it a mix and match. But yeah, the terrain brushes make short work of this. Ultimately, it's probably best not to use the secret door asset and just place a secret door drawn onto the wall there, and then when you're, you know, if they do an investigation check or something in that room and they find it, or if they're, you know, or have, you know, they're searching for magic or whatever and they find it, it's a combination of, you know, how you design it in your, the map itself, because I know the secret door asset is very visible from a top down. So what I recommend doing is to just, you know that that's a secret door there. You could put a bookcase there or something, and then if they interact with it and investigate it to a degree and get a high enough check, then they have found the secret door. You know what I mean? And then you would basically have them teleport to a new map when they go through that door. So you would set up a plugin in Roll20 that has them teleport through that. So I would not actually put a secret door there or a window or anything like that. I would just put an object there myself and say, hey, this is the secret door. So like right now, like if you put an object that's a secret door here, watch. Have this one that's like this. Like it's very easy to tell that's a secret door from the top down. If you delete that and just have a wall there, and then you just put a bookcase or something else. I hope I'm answering this correctly to your satisfaction. But then you could just say that bookcase is the secret door or whatever, you know? They just have to interact with it using an investigation check. So what you would do is you would go into Roll20 and then using a plugin of some sort, you would set this as an interactable, like, you know, a teleportal or a portal that once they've, you know, if they've interacted with it, then they can move through it, and then they, you know, it would teleport them to a new map that is the secret room. That could be like a cellar or, you know, this room that they just can't see it in a top down because the fog of war is closed off. But I don't like showing secret rooms in top down at all, even with the fog of war, because it gives them the indication it's there, like a metagame. So I personally, I'm just giving an example, you know, I personally like to set it up as they don't see this room at all in the top down, and that they interact with the environment, and then they go through and it takes them to somewhere else. Because secret rooms are hard to divinate in almost any aspect, from top down, from, you know, in the first person, etc. Mindpad. You're funny. Also, when you're exporting, some things to consider, and I know the dynamic lighting in Roll20 is very new. You may want to consider just only export lights to VTT, or only render lights in the image when you go to export it. You have these different lighting options. You may want to play around with those and see if one works for you. I haven't used Roll20 myself, so I'm not 100%, like, I've only played as a player in Roll20. I've never actually, like, used Roll20 as a DM, so I'm not very super into it in the know. So I'm not the best person to ask. Going through and generating some more structures here. Let's do some tent shops. Music while you stop. Honestly, Dirk, and I hope I answered your question. I'm not 100% certain how to resolve that top to bottom, because I'm not the smartest when it comes to, you know, Roll20. Overall, it's just not my forte. Managing to squeeze a few more houses in here. Village. 2 farm homes here. Make a little bit bigger home over here. That. All right, one moment. Okay. But see, the thing is everything's starting to get way gridded and clean in here, you know, as I start getting this way, and it seems more organized, right? Because the houses are more uniform, the streets are looking more clean, and you want that. Early on in your city, you want it to feel very disorganized, like there's no code, the city isn't enforced, it's just kind of people build whatever, wherever they can. And then, as you spread out, you want your city to kind of feel like it's slowly becoming more organized. That's at least how I feel like it should be. You know, everybody's kind of got their own, I guess, idea of what it should be like. All right. For those of you just joining in, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is what you see in front of you. It's an AI-powered map-making utility that allows you to build maps for your tabletop RPG campaigns. You can print the maps or use them digitally in, TV tabletop like a Vorpal board, or you can export for your VTT of choice, such as Foundry, Roll20, etc. So earlier we were asked, hey, can you build a city, Mac? And so right now that's what I've been doing, is just slowly building up a city a little bit at a time, and it's coming together. Oh yeah, come together. That's smart too. When I'm doing world maps, I definitely like to think of that, especially like how the weather might affect, the shaping of, say, a valley or a coastline, etc. Since this is such a small-scale village, I'm not really super focused on that, but I get it. Welcome, by the way. Nice, clever tag goes here. Welcome, welcome. By the way, if you are new here and you haven't followed the stream already, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that follow button so you can find us in the future. We do these streams every Saturday. I call them the damn stream. Every Saturday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 7 p.m. UTC, I host a damn stream. These streams are designed to showcase community-made maps on Steam Workshop or from our Discord, as well as I teach you tips and tricks by doing builds or answering questions, etc. That's a pretty good idea there. We could do something like that for sure in one of these, because you can add like a little hatch or a pit or something into it that has been dug up. So let's add some ruins over here. Why not? Huh? We'll put some. Maybe this is the new chapel, and the old chapel is just adjacent to it. And it's kind of worn down, right? And let's see if we can change the floor out. Something decrepit. And then what we can do here is put a pit. So we've got several pits. You could have like a collapsed floor down here, but then the floor collapsed, and as you could see, there is actually a hidden door. So, I like to put like a light source down there, like someone maybe dropped a torch or something, or a lantern or something, and then you just kind of put it down there. So that looks like, maybe this collapsed and there's a secret door under it. Or that is one way you could do it. Or you could do like they dug a hole, like one of these. So like maybe it collapsed, or like there's a sinkhole or something here and it fell down and there's a cave down below. There's lots of ways you could do that with these abandoned ruin type assets. We also have like grates and all sorts of little things, like a sewer entrance. So lots of different ways we could do this. But we could just say this was the old, church. And it... Whoa. I was trying to move the door and it freaked out. It, it slowly became decrepit, and this one was built up in its place. Maybe this is the new god that the city worships or something. Whatever. Could be any number of things. So, what do y'all think of the town so far? Let's get it in a top-down, take a look. So we have the docks in the beach area, kind of like a fish market / slums. You know, just kind of just basic shacks and tiny little, you know, no organization, just kind of built up. And then as you get in, it gets more and more organized. Streets, you know, cobblestone, markets, you know, city squares, things like that. Oh, excuse me. Whoa, I spilled my water everywhere. So what we could do is maybe put like a pop-up tent here. These are like inner market stalls and maybe some wagons, you know, like these. Remember, these can be changed in color too, so you can do all sorts of different ones, and they kind of are indicative that say, hey, this is a different stall, yo. No. No. You could not copy-paste that amphitheater into this. You would have to build it by hand. There's no way to copy batch objects and bring it over. Not at this time, unfortunately. What you would probably do is just load up that map and then build the city around it. No, there's, I mean, on our upvote, there's a suggestion to allow you to kind of group objects together or lock them so you can, you know, move them as a whole, or move rooms as a whole. And that is a very highly upvoted suggestion on our upvote. That being said, that doesn't mean it will be put into Dungeon Alchemist. That really is kind of, just because something's voted up a ton doesn't mean it will be put high priority. It just means it's more likely that the devs have noticed it and will prioritize it. Does that make sense? Cities need commerce, you know? Like, what are they gonna buy and eat? We'll probably put some, like, goods on these. There's, like, an alley with a wagon in it, and it looks like, hey, things come through here, like a road. So, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, Thorium Dragon. So, our tool is technically a map maker. It's a map making tool that you make your maps in and then you export them to your VTT of choice. So, right now, built into our system. You can export to, say, Foundry or Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds. There's utilization and ability right in here for that. If you go to File Export, it says Foundry, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds. We also have Universal, VTT, or Image, or Print. So it really comes down to how you want to use Dungeon Alchemist. Now, kind of doubling back to what you said there earlier, do people use this as a VTT? Yes. Many in our community use Dungeon Alchemist for in-person play with printed maps, or they use it with a Vorpal board or a projector or a TV in their table, and they'll run Dungeon Alchemist as their VTT. You can actually go in and hide the UI and go into a top-down mode, and essentially, here, let me show you what I mean. So there is, under settings, you can turn on a grid. So let's turn the grid on and make it a little bit more visible. I've kind of had it invisible this whole time. And then we go into a top-down mode, and then we hide this UI. And now, essentially, you have a map system that you can move around. It's gridded. We also have tokens. So you could either do a physical token on top of the TV or the projected image in person, or you can place a token inside of it. We have a bunch of tokens that are free that we gifted you as part of our most recent update. Or you can link your Hero Forge account and any tokens you've gotten as part of packs as Pro Plus with Hero Forge. Or if you've bought any 3D digital minis, you can import them and use them. So, kind of, let's reiterate that. Let's put some tokens in here. These tokens can also be selected. You can go into first person with them and use that first person to take like screenshots or to explore the map at this height. Man, looking at the scale, these tokens are probably going to need to be a lot smaller. But as you can see, we start getting an idea of what this city looks like at this height. Got some big old, oh, fell down through the docks. First person is still very new. It's only about a month old, so it's going to be a little buggy at times and not be perfect. Now, you could use Dungeon Alchemist as a limited VTT where you move the player's tokens for them, or they can remotely access Dungeon Alchemist one at a time and you move them for them. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they move it for themselves. Ultimately, Dungeon Alchemist at the end of the day is a map maker, and you export to your VTT of choice. Right now, the export is image only. There's no animation in it, kind of getting back to that. However, animated exports are on the roadmap, and the devs said it'll most likely be in not this upcoming update in December, but the one after that. So likely around February, March, we'll have animated exports available. So, you know, when you see fire or, you know, something moving smoke, or, you know, we have water wheels, etc., a whole sorts of stuff that is animated, that will animate and export to your VTT of choice. So it'll most likely be like a WebM file or something, and so Foundry will play it in a loop. Yeah, and that was a very broad explanation. So there is animations in here. Keep in mind, you can take advantage of that right now in a limited capacity. I'm sure you've given handouts to your players, right, in the past. GIF, too. Right now, what you can do, if you wanted to, say, make an animated export, say you wanted to show your players this new town that they just sailed into for the first time, okay? Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go into cinematic export, and you could just say, hey, you have just arrived in, you know, Farlanden, the port town of Farlanden, and, you know, maybe do like a drone flyby, like a bird flying over, essentially. And using this drone camera, you could take a screenshot, or you could just sit still over an area and record it. Use it, and when you press record, it starts recording. You could fly around while you're recording, or you could hold still. And the benefit of this is you could set up and just do like an animated export of a single room, or like an entry scene, or a chase scene, or like the first time they go into a pub, etc. There's all sorts of ways you can utilize this. You can also record in first-person mode on tokens, and the whole point of that is to allow you to record content to utilize in your campaigns, to supplement your maps, to showcase neat little areas of your maps. Not yet. However, your VTT of choice usually has Fog of War and takes care of that already. So we don't do roofs for a reason in a lot of our stuff, because when you print this, you're going to want to be able to see in there, you know? And when you export it, if you use, say, Foundry, it generates wall data, so you're not going to be able to see in here until they go inside, or they're at the window looking in. So technically, if you use, say, Foundry or Fantasy Grounds or Roll20 Owlbear, you have all this wall data and Fog of War. They won't be able to see inside until they go inside. Oh yeah, the portals look really cool. They're some of my favorite. You can also interact with objects while you're in first-person mode. Notice it shows that play button. If you just left-click, it'll interact with the object and play it. If you're recording, it won't show the UI. So if you could do a recording where you walk up to the gate and open it, turn it off, whatever. When you record, so let's say I record really quick. When you're done recording, a file prompt will pop up, and it prompts you to put it wherever you want. Just like any file you save. So you can essentially go through and tell it where to save. And you name it at that exact time. Yeah, you could put a tent over it, but keep in mind when you go to export it, it'll be missing in the top-down image, so you won't be able to have any way for them to interact with that, because your insistence on having a roof will remove all the data underneath it, and you'll have to have another map just for them to interact with that building and go inside. So I get the need to want roofs, but I think it's more of a thing in our brain going, oh, they need roofs for immersion, when in reality, they don't. You really won't have, there will be a roof on this building until they go into it, because there'll be Fog of War, and the buildings you don't need them to go into can be indicated by, say, you know, tents or these kind of structures like this. There is also, there was a tutorial a while back that someone showed you how to add roofs using Dungeon Alchemist. Where is that? Yeah, you can use a plugin called Better Roofs, I think. So there's a module for, say, here. I don't know how good this video is. This here allows you to use like a module in Foundry to get the roof you're looking to do. So using, like, you know, either photo editing, you could put a roof on it. So what I would do, let's say, is either use a module to simulate the roof, or just have roofs on buildings that I really don't intend them to go into. Oh, for sure. And keep in mind, Dungeon Alchemist is in early access, so every time, basically, we started as a Kickstarter. We kickstarted and we raised a bunch of funds, hit all our stretch goals, and essentially those stretch goals are each of our updates. And we won't leave early access until we've released all of our stretch goals from our Kickstarter. So our next update is our Winter Wonderland stretch goal and the Floor is Lava stretch goal. We plan to release both of those in one mega update. The devs had an announcement the other day stating that they will release the Winter Wonderlands content will be available in its full in the next update, including AI and objects and quality of life improvements. And then the Floor is Lava objects, but not AI room generation, will be in the next update. They weren't able to get the cave generation just right yet. So essentially every time we have an update, there's huge quality of life improvements, new biomes, huge expansion of objects, new tools and features, and it just makes us bigger and better and more filled up, and like ultimately pushing us closer to our final full release, where we are, you know, leaving early access. Yeah, of course. I mean, I mean, I just personally would just make the doghouse be a building itself that I don't intend people go into. But yeah, I mean, you could put this over this, like the tents to cover this. Or you could take, you know, these chicken coop structures or dog houses and put them in there and kind of get them somewhat close to be a roof. You know what I mean? There is ways to do it. Ultimately, within Dungeon Alchemist, if you were part of our Kickstarter or you purchased Dungeon Alchemist on Steam, all of the stretch goals are free updates. 100% free. However, our devs have said that eventually, once we leave early access, they will consider expansions, say like different themes that are above and beyond our fantasy stretch goals. So let's say a cyberpunk theme or a modern day setting. Those will be paid expansions above and beyond. And that will only be after we finish Dungeon Alchemist and left early access. Yep, there are quite a few objects. Like we had one in the most recent update that was kind of a test. So, I'm sure you've all seen these yak chals. These are huge, by the way. Here, I'm just going to put it over here because of the space we have. This was kind of a test. And it was the first object we had with like a removable roof. You can hide the roof and look inside of it. And there's a few like mining shacks and objects and the like that are coming that are in the pipeline that will have roofs that you could click this button to remove them. Yep, indeed. Sack was very clever to turn this into an observatory. You could just put like a carpet here, make that the floor, and then put the stuff on top of it. Wow, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize it's 2 p.m. So, we actually, I usually end around 2. So we went above and beyond our scheduled time here for the stream. Exactly. So you can remove it, and I think they'll probably add that as like an animated object option or something like that. See, the thing is I don't know how we'll utilize animations like with things like that with removable roofs. Most likely you would probably have 2 exports, one with the roof off and one with the roof on. And then when they open, when they go in, you just remove the roof. Does that make sense? So when they go in that door, you would probably have like a Monk Smart Tile or something that triggers when they go in and then opens it. So I think after this next update, we'll have 6 more stretch goals still, including some of the biggest, most powerhouse ones, like Instant Dungeon. Instant Dungeon's gonna be huge. It'll be, right now we have like a handful of clicks to make an environment or, a couple clicks to make a room, but imagine you just click and it makes a whole dungeon in one thing. You could check our roadmap on our upvote. I'm going to drop a bunch of links for everyone here. And please make sure, if you haven't already, if you've enjoyed the stream, that you hit that follow button. I do these streams every Saturday. We call them the DAM streams. When you save a file in Dungeon Alchemist, the file type is DAM, Dungeon Alchemist Maps. And we lean into that and kind of joke around with it. So as you can see, we call this the DAM stream. At the top of the channel, you see the bi-weekly DAM challenge. If you're interested in the DAM challenge, if you have a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, you can make a map of any size using the word feast as a theme, as inspiration, and you could submit it on our Discord. We actually have a Discord channel called Community Creations, and pinned in there is the bi-weekly DAM challenge. I do a series of tutorials called Give a Damn on YouTube. We lean really hard into the damn thing. It's pretty funny. Yep, Instant Dungeon's gonna take it to the next level. What do you got here? One last question before you jet. Can I use a third-party objects that I may get from ArtStation or another source? So, initially, the devs never intended for people to allow people to use their own assets, 3D objects, etc. in Dungeon Alchemist because they have a certain quality, certain mesh quality for top-down export. And also, they tend to make objects and assets that are very, very small in physical size when they're, downloaded. Like, maps tend to be less than 10 megabytes in most cases, unless there's thousands of objects in them and they're a really large map. The challenge is a 2-week challenge, Wolf Gold. So you can essentially start, we started it last Saturday, so you have another week to enter. You can use the word feast, make a map, and submit it in our Discord and the Community Creations channel. There's a pinned message for the feast challenge. You can put it in there. And then if you win, your map is the first map featured on our next stream. So let me get into that more, Thorium. I got sidetracked. Yes, there will be in the future. The devs got so much feedback from the community, they said, well, can't we just have Steam Workshop to import our own assets, because we don't really like how long it's taken to get these assets, or maybe I want my own Cyberpunk assets, or maybe I want this own custom thing, or object, or something for my campaign, or an Artificer-created engine, or something. So, and you could see, so basically, there's been so much feedback from the community that they've slowly geared our Dungeon Alchemist content to go that way. We added Steam Workshop in our last update, where you can now submit your maps. And this is kind of the foundational kind of step to getting the ability to import your own assets. We need Steam Workshop to function. So now, in the future, we're hoping that people will be able to import their own assets, and we'll just kind of put a, use at your own risk tag on them. I don't know if that'll be this update, more likely 2 to 3 updates from now. But yes, it is in the pipeline to import your own assets. Things like Steam Workshop and tokens with Hero Forge are foundational steps to allow us to do that. So importing tokens and Steam Workshop, I see those as combined efforts to get your own assets or tokens. So back to the Dam Challenge. The Dam Challenge, you have essentially 2 weeks to enter. Since it started last week, you only have a week now. I host these on stream. I announce them, and then I remind people on our socials and in Discord they have time to enter. And essentially, you just make a map of any size using Feast as the theme. Man, I was really hoping to finish this up. You know what? I'll finish this on stream really quick, and then we'll do that, okay? What I think I'm gonna do is put, maybe a wall over here to kind of block this off, because, the city maybe blocked it off because there was, rumors it was dangerous or something like that, you know? Oops. You can do whatever you want. Hey, Crasher, no problem. I'm gonna finish out this build, so no stress. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, though, for this. It means a lot to me that y'all hung out with me and participated while I, taught you all stuff about Dungeon Alchemist, and, well, at least did my best to teach you all stuff about Dungeon Alchemist. Yeah, if you already have a map that fits the theme, use it, and if you don't, no biggie. No problem. Remember, all of you, I am Mac, the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. This is the official channel for Dungeon Alchemist. If you have any questions about the program, or how to build something, or how to accomplish something, etc., please feel free to ask right now. We're in the waning minutes of the stream. We probably only have about 3 to 10 minutes, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes left. Man, why isn't this generating? Dirty rollers, you don't need to fix it. It is fine, dude. I was just playing with it. Please don't take what I said earlier as like, oh, it's bad. No, dude, you made good work. Thorium, thank you so much for being a part of it. I appreciate you asking questions and, you know, joining our community, and for the follow. Much appreciated. We'll hope to see you in the future.